back we go to Wednesday now. Kennesaw State, the team that pulled off one of the upsets of the season in college football. Based on the point spread, I think it's next to Northern Illinois, Notre Dame. Biggest upset of the year in college football. We've had a few big ones. Obviously, Vandy against Alabama. Obviously, Notre Dame, Northern Illinois takes the cake. But Kennesaw over Liberty was right up there last week. But is this the hangover spot? Is this the letdown spot? Is Kennesaw just all of a sudden flipped that switch last week? They're going to be a pretty competent team the rest of the way? Or was that a one-off? Was that a blip on the radar of an otherwise dismal season? That's the key thing you got to ask yourself here as they take on Western Kentucky. Hilltoppers, 24.5-point home favorites, 50.5 the total. I'm very conflicted because I've actually seen this in this conference. Team stinks. I remember Sam Houston last year. Team stunk early in the year. And then they started to flip a switch, got a big win, and then they became a point spread machine the rest of the season. Is that going to be Kennesaw State now? Perhaps. They're getting 24.5. Their offense looked solid last week. They were able to run the football. I could, at this number, even with the letdown and the hangover of a huge home win against an undefeated Liberty team out of nowhere, I have a hard time laying this many against Kennesaw. Now, the problem is Western's a freight train right now. They've covered 6 straight. Their only loss was at BC against Boston College, a power conference team. They've won 49-21 against Middle, 44-17 against UTEP, 31-14 against a very good Sam Houston State team a couple weeks ago. And they're off a bye, Western Kentucky as well, going into this game. And Caden Veltkamp playing extremely well at quarterback, obviously, for them. And I think their defense has improved a lot. They haven't always been a good defensive football program, Western Kentucky. But you look at what they've done lately. I mean, they've held all their opponents to 21 or less now in 6 straight games. So these 6 straight games they've covered in a row, they've given up 21 or fewer. So I know Kennesaw, for the first time all year against Liberty of all teams, never would have seen it coming, got their offense going. Will it continue here against a Western team that's really been better defensively this year? I don't know. That remains to be seen. I think I'm sitting this one out. I've seen this movie, though, with a team that's as bad as Kennesaw, and just when they start to finally turn a corner, you can then start to bet on a team like that if they can show they can replicate some level of competence week in and week out at this kind of a number after being so bad. But I also don't fully trust it, and I'm not sure I want to go heads up against Western Kentucky and this great 6-0 run that they're on. ATS putting up points and galore and playing some pretty good defense. So very tough game. I slightly lean Kennesaw and the dog, but I don't know. I don't have a great feeling about it. C-Mac, what do you think?
Yeah, it's when you get to these, a team like Western Kentucky's playing well, you mentioned, and 6 straight, 6-1 this year. ATS, just huge favorites, even here at home off the bye. It's like, do I really want to lay 24? They win this game, I think. But I think it's too many points. The
thing is, we saw Vanderbilt, right? I know it's totally different conference, different teams, power conference teams and all that. But we saw Vanderbilt not have any letdown after they beat Alabama. Huge upset. And they came back the next week. They played Kentucky. They won outright. So keep that in mind.
Here, too, can they go, on the road and do it here where Kennesaw, finally not only cover, but win a football game, which is just, shocking as all hell. They were able to run it. This offense still isn't very good, and the defense isn't great at all. So, but one thing is Kennesaw is horrible against the run. They give over 170 yards. Western Kentucky's been pretty good, but Veltkamp's where they want to do their damage. I think if you like Western Kentucky, maybe early, first half, or maybe their team total if you don't want to lay this many points. Because the one thing I think Kennesaw could hang around, it's just, do they score enough? I mean, we have a total at 50. This isn't crazy high. My problem with them before they played this Liberty team that's in funk was, can they score? And they got 24 kind of late. I mean, they scored 24 points for Jacksonville because I had just seen them dating back to last year and this year. They couldn't get more than 2 touchdowns. It just wasn't happening in a game. That's how dreadful the offense. So maybe it's turning around a little bit. Yeah, I don't know. The road thing here is kind of where I don't love this, but I think they could maybe sneak in here in this number. It's just Western Kentucky want to put a 50 spot on them.
Yep.
Here, that's just it.
Yeah, that's definitely what you have to ask yourself for sure. Are they going to have that focus to put the pedal to the metal in this game? That's going to be the big question when it's all said and done. Like I said, very interesting spot here with these two teams. And like I say, is Kennesaw, was it a blip? Was it just a one-off and they're going to get absolutely steamrolled? Keep in mind, they have not lost a game on the road, Kennesaw State, by more than this 24.5 number. That is something worth mentioning.
Yeah, this year, right?
This year, yeah. I think their biggest road loss as far as margin is concerned was like 16
24.
Yeah.
Against Louisiana? Was that the 7th?
Yeah, I think that might have been the one.
34-10.
Yeah, 34. There you go. So they haven't lost by more than 24 on the road this year. So keep that in mind.